My name is Steve Leatherman. I'm Deputy Chief of the Frederick County Division of Fire and Rescue located in Frederick, Maryland. Frederick County is actually in central Maryland. Frederick County is the largest landmass county in the state, and we're about an hour's drive from either Baltimore or Washington, D.C. We're home to the National Fire Academy. I'm sure most people are aware of that, as well as Presidential Retreat of Camp David. We've been a Pierce customer now probably since about 2000. As far as the county is concerned, we have 22 different pieces of Pierce apparatus between ladder trucks and pumpers and hazmat units and so on. So we've been a long-time Pierce customer, and we just recently placed an order in for 4 new pumpers, same as this one, as well as the one of the Ascendant ladder trucks. So we started out this process here on there. We got a committee together to actually prepare the specifications to do the pumpers, and we selected to go with the Enforcer chassis, one because of it made a little more fiscal sense to go that route. But the other biggest thing about it was the room that was actually in the cab, whereas one of the things that we were looking for was the additional space for the officer and the driver, and their lower profile with the engine compartments and so on. The other big feature about that is the full windshield, and probably people don't realize how much of a difference that actually makes, but that's a huge difference in your visibility for the driver and the visibility out with the mirrors and so on. We selected to go with the airbag systems as far as a lot of the safety features in the truck. One of the other things we added to the truck was a mounting plate that went across the engine tunnel to be easier to mount equipment on there without being able to change things out without doing any kind of damage. The other thing is kind of different for us on the truck is we went with the straight roof on the top, the flat roof instead of a raised roof. And there was a couple different reasons why we did that. One was more of a safety feature that actually more or less requires the firefighters to be suited up, or they're not getting into their gear going down the road, that they're actually being required to be suited up, ready to go, and in the seats and buckled up going down the road. It kind of reinforces that. Plus also helps with some of the lower profile areas. The other thing we did is we're really big on is the lighting, especially on the front, going into intersections. We want to make sure that there's plenty of visibility coming into an intersection. I know in the past we've had an accident before as a result of that, and it's one of the things that we really it's a big proponent of, is trying to make sure they got the visibility and the sounds there. The other thing we did on the truck was a little different is on the lighting on this. We went with the FireTech lighting, the scene lighting, as well as the headlights, and a couple reasons for that. One was the brightness of the lights, but then probably the biggest thing on it was the lifetime warranty that you have on that, and it's easy to replace out. So the FireTech lighting was a big thing, and it's actually a very, very effective light. We did it with the brow light, as well as we did with the assigned seat lighting and lighting off the rear of the truck. We continue going on with the TAC-4. We've got that on all of our fire apparatus in the county, and that's just a huge safety factor as far as the brakes are concerned, and the ability of steering the truck and driver control. So that's a big factor for us. One of the goals that we had on the truck was we wanted to try to maintain a short wheelbase. Well, let me back up here to the cab here real quick. One of the things we did as far as the Enforcer that we liked it also was the ability on the seats. We can actually take the seats and we can adjust them to where, for different configurations we wanted to. The actual back seat that goes against the back wall actually are adjustable and can slide right to left. We also include the Ems Compartment in there, and we put it on the side of the truck just to make it more easier to reach in there when you're outside the truck and not have to climb back in to get your EMS bags or AEDs or whatever it may be. One of the other things that we were really a big proponent on the truck was we wanted to maintain a short wheelbase. And with this particular truck, the overall length was 30 feet, but the actual wheelbase is only 180 inches. And so it just maneuverability around it's actually a lot better. The pump we go with is the Waterous pump. It's a 1,500 gallon per minute pump, as well as it's a 750 gallon water tank. We chose, actually, we have 2 crosslays on it, and we actually kind of maximize the crosslays out based upon our staffing that we'll actually carry on the truck. We have a 6 kW generator, hydraulic generator on top, as well as a master stream device. We chose to go with the lap doors versus the roll-up doors just because of more traditional, and it just seems to function a lot better with us, using the lap doors. some of the lighting that we put on the truck with some of the newer lighting on it, such as the lights we put on the sides up towards the front bumper as well as back. It gives us more visibility, as well as also gives us more scene lighting down on the ground. In addition to that, we did the am door lights that are underneath all the compartments. One of the big things we're proponents on is to light up the scene, especially at nighttime. So we were actually really pretty big on that. We chose to go with the 3 hard sleeves to carry on our truck just for transitioning water. We were in a rural setting as well as an urban area, and a lot of times we go into the water shuttle type spline of in an incident, and to transfer water from one porta tank to another, that gives us additional flexibility. The other thing we tried to do on this is we were looking at low profile on the hose bed, and so we went with the L-shaped tank on it, which actually gives us a lower hose bed. We do have a large intake to the rear of the truck, which we put on here to the rear, basically in our city settings. Instead of having a large diameter hose going out to the side of the truck, it actually enables us to keep the lanes open and go in that direction. One other thing we did up in the hose bed is we've had a lot of problems with losing hose off the back of the truck going down the road. So we put up on the front of the hose bed, it's a partial solid hose bed cover across the top. It's pretty heavy, and that way it keeps the air from getting down underneath the hose and flipping it out. The hose straps the actual netting's not shown here, but the netting goes across the back, and just by pulling these things down and releases it, the netting will come down, very quickly, and so you can do it. In the back of the truck is where we have our electric cord reels, and pretty much where we're going to carry the electrical components back in here, but we put the cord reel and junction blocks and that type of thing on the truck. On this side of the truck, one of the things we do is we put on there is the standpipe packs, and we did it kind of street level that you can reach it. This will actually carry 2 different types of standpipe packs on us, and then we have the 24 and the 14-foot roof ladder. One of the things that we wanted to make sure was that we can actually get the roof ladder or the ladders off the truck by yourself without having without having to lower anything. And it appears to have worked out well with us in making sure that we can get that down and it's going to work out okay. Okay, and on this side of the truck is we do have our large diameter discharge as well as our regular 2.5-inch discharges on the truck. That just helps us on our water supply. And going on around to the front of the truck, we do have our front intake as well as a front trash line discharge. So that pretty much sums up our truck for us, and I'd like to thank you all for listening in to our tour of our truck.